Hotepuga Keepers, this is His Royal Highness Ra Sumabathagbemi, the world's first openly gay African king. And I wish to reveal to you that what you're looking at on the screen here is a textbook manual on astronomy. Yes, I know it resembles a piece of jewelry and was called such. It was found in King Tut's tomb, but our word for jewel is sa, which means nectar, wisdom, wise man, knowledge, magic, or protection. Because jewelry to us was never to be used simply to excite the senses or the emotional response, but it must be a bearer of magical knowledge, of information that magically transforms you into a wise person, a sage. The word sa means a sage. The rule is, whatever's in the center is the central theme of the story. Here we have Kepera, which means the rising sun. This is a book on the sun's risings, emphasized by the wings, which represent flight or motion. So here we're looking at the rising sun's flight of motion, its trajectory. And we see beneath the beetle 3 strokes. These are the equinox solstice strokes. This middle stroke is when the sun rises due east on March 21st and September 21st for the spring and fall equinoxes respectively, where there's 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. And then here on the left, when there's a longer stroke, these are the longer days of the year where there's the longest light. And here are the longest nights. Longest light, I said, yes, here. And this one is the longest night, the longest evenings in the winter solstice. This half circle here, this semicircle, represents 1/2 of the horizon. In this case, the rising half, meaning look at the half of the horizon where things rise. We have here the word Ankh, laying down prostrate, a rare way of drawing this particular glyph. The word Ankh means my 2 eyes, Ankhti. The word Ankh also means stars or constellations. So it's saying, watch the constellations waking up or rising from the east part of the horizon, this east half of the sky, and that as the stars rise, in this case the sun and the moon rise, rising with the stars in the east, as it gets more and more hot to the summer, the right brain, this eye is the right brain, will become more awake. The eye opens, that brain activates, is able to perceive more information about the external world. I'm sorry, this is the left brain eye, the left brain eye. And as this left brain eye gets closer and closer in tune with the summer solstice, which is this snake here, at the summer solstice, the longest day of the year, the hot Kundalini energy, the yang life force, reaches its maximum. And over here, as the sun and moon rise, in this case, the right brain gets more awakened as we get closer to winter, and then the more yin, parasympathetic life force, Ashe or Kundalini, will rise and flood this brain with more internal insights, more imaginative perceptions. Okay? Now, this beetle represents also the human cranium. If you look at it carefully, it resembles your skull. Even the divisions of the front part of the from a bird's eye view looking down onto the skull. Also, this beetle resembles quite literally in your brain the thalamus gland. And these 2 wings are the corpus callosum, which link the 2 brain hemispheres. So it's telling you that the rising sun affects the brain and the corpus callosum. Okay? This horizontal line is the horizon. And again, these 2 snakes are this is the summer solstice snake, the northernmost march of the sun. The sun will not go past this degree on the horizon, this azimuth or compass bearing, and this is its southernmost motion. These snakes bind the sun's motion as they bind the wings of this flying creature, so it won't fly too far out. Again, this horizon here line has 36 circlets, and the moon has a summer and winter solstice and an equinox pattern just like the sun. The moon here, except the moon does the same thing as the sun does in 1 year. It takes the moon 18 years to do, meaning every 9 years the sun is here, like a moon's summer solstice, and then another 9 years pass, the moon's over here, very low in the sky, kind of like a moon winter solstice. In the middle, there's like a moon equinox. So the moon's flight or motion is supported by, or has a foundation in, the sun's motion. That's where the beetle is the foundation holding up this moon. So you're being told here in this manual to look at the motions of the sun and moon over a 1 year period for the sun, an 18-year period for the moon, really 18.6 years, at their extreme risings on the horizon, which creates their respective winter and summer and equinox solstices. Okay? And the moon copies the sun's motions, but in an 18-year cycle. There are 36 ringlets here. And remember I said 18 years for the moon, 18 times 2 is 36. So we're talking about a double lunar cycle as being important, a double lunar major standstill cycle. Then we have here 9 flowers, 5 of which are open, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 which are closed. Okay? These 5 represent the fact that here's 1 at the extreme, 1 at the extreme, 1 in the middle, and then 1 in the midpoint, and a midpoint. Winter solstice, midpoint, equinox, midpoint, summer solstice. Telling you that at the winter solstice, summer solstice, equinox, and their middle points, your kundalini, your life force, your chakras open. They're more active. In between those, they close. They want to rest. So we have active resting, active resting, active resting, active resting, active, and we go back. The pattern repeats. Telling you that you have to balance your life force. That you, like exercise, you work out, then you have a day off. You work out, you have a day off. Well, if you have 9 of these flowers and 360 days in a year, each flower is about 40 days long. So 40 days active spiritual work, then you kind of rest it a little bit. 40 days active again, then you rest it a little bit. These 4 closed pods also represent the 4 major stations of the moon. How do I know? Because look here. You have these little moon figures, half black, half white, half black, half white. Again here, and again half and half. Because the moon is twice a month, half light and half dark, called the quarter moon. So on the quarter moons, you should rest because the flowers are closed. It's true. The quarter moons are like right angles, what's called a square in astrology. And you don't want to be too active during squares because you make problems for yourself. You see? And the fact that we have this closed petal with this kind of opening flower part here means if you go within on the quarter days of the moon, yes, that you will have an inner flowering, an inner something inwardly will open. By relaxing, things open up. Okay? King Tut wore this pendant to remind him of what he has to keep his eye on, to watch how the motions of the sun and moon during the year or the 18-year cycle affect him, his life force, his kundalini, his people, his nation, the calendars, and the astrology charts. This pendant was a symbol that he had received this knowledge, and like a badge of honor, he wore it as a so-called piece of jewelry, a sa, to represent that he had learned it, and to remind him when he looks at it what he learned. It's like a little tape recording of what he learned. We never wear jewelry for how it looks. We wear it for what the life force it brings us to becoming wise, enlightened, or sa. This is why I am very committed to reviving, particularly as a gay pharaoh, the glamour of Kemet. But the glamour of Kemet rests not only in its genius of construction, but its genius of meaning. Beauty is that which is harmoniously created with maximal deep meaning. So, may you revive wearing jewelry that captures your chart, captures your astrology, captures your stars, and remind you of what you're supposed to be learning at this time of your life. You would have pieces of jewelry commissioned for major transits in your chart. Each gem will capture the life force of those stars and preserve it for you. You would do prayers over this, rituals, pour milk over it, water, give it fruits and incenses to activate the spirits of your chart. And each of these stones, lapis lazuli, the orange carnelian, has powers. And I teach a class on that, but it's a very expensive class because the information is so powerful, where I go into how each gem is controlled by Neteru, a deity, based upon the crystalline structure, of which there are 7 in the mineral kingdom. So we combine the crystalline structure and we combine the color of the gem to know what Neteru is pouring through that energy field called the gem. But that's a very advanced class, and I keep it quite expensive because I don't want that knowledge to get out too quickly. It's for people that are very serious and really want to learn the power of gems, the magic of gems, the Sa of jewelry, which is a walking astrology map that's exuding the energy of your chart to give you the magic of knowledge, wisdom, and protection. Sa, sa, sa. Long live the glamour of Kemet, Dwawen Totebu.